Good evening, my beautiful people. You are watching and listening to the Brain Media Uganda. My name is Russian, keeping you updated. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has been watching, everyone that has been viewing, and I also want to thank our subscribers for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We really do appreciate that. So I want to thank everyone that is watching from abroad. You are watching from Dubai, any parts of the world, any parts of the country. We really do appreciate you guys. So earlier on, we were talking about the Strait of Hormuz, and we said it was the only way to the Persian Gulf. And yes, of course, as I told you, it's really been a war then. Since then, I remember also the US denied Iran the what the US denied accusations. Yeah, the US denied Iran accusations that it hit civilian infrastructure in the latest wave of airstrikes since peace collapse. We talked, I think we talked about this, whereby the US denied accusations because it had hit the civilian infrastructures in Iran, sorry. So the Iran state media and provincial authorities said bridges, a train station, and an airport were hit. BBC Verify has confirmed an attack on a bridge in Hormozgan province, but a White House spokesman told the BBC the US had carried out strikes exclusively on military targets, including military logistics infrastructure. So that is what happened, and but now currently, so ever since then, Iran had to fire back, okay? Of which, when it fired back, of course, three US soldiers were killed during the weekend. That was during the weekend that three US soldiers were killed. One was 8 years of 19, and then the one of 25. The other, I'm not really sure about that. But that is what happened. So the US decided to launch fresh strikes on Iran, and also Trump warned of retaliation of death of soldiers. So the US military says it launched another round of strikes against Iran to further degrade its capabilities to attack ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Report says the 10th consecutive night of attacks come after US President Donald Trump vowed to punish Iran for the death of US soldiers. In response, Iran said it struck two oil tankers in the waterway as well as US military assets in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. Remember I told you guys that Iran was literally targeting the major bases in the US, and that was Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan, and this is what happened. President Masoud Pezeshkian said Iran was now fighting a full-scale war with the US. So Trump earlier said Iran had been hit very hard the previous night in honor of three US soldiers killed recently, two in Jordan, one in Iraq. US Central Command said its latest strikes had hit Iranian military command centers, maritime capabilities, the missiles, drone launch sites, and air defense systems. Explosions were reported near the northwestern city of Tabriz, where the state media said one person was killed and several wounded, as well as at the Gulf ports of Bandar Masahi and Bandar Imam Khomeini, and the southeastern ports of Kabaha and Konarak. Sanctum also insisted that commercial vessels were continuing to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran said its forces struck two oil tankers as they attempted to transit through what it called the Strait's unsafe and hazardous southern route, and rescue teams were picking up their crews, according to the state media. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operation Agency said a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz had reported being struck by an unknown projectile, forcing its crew to abandon the vessel and board a lifeboat. It wasn't clear whether the tanker reported by UK MTO was among those cited by Iran. 6 fuel tankers and cargo ships crossed the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, according to preliminary data from maritime intelligence firm Kepler. 2 of these vessels had previously been sanctioned by the US for links with Iran. This is down from 8 vessels which crossed on 19th July, the data shows. All but one of the crossings made on 20th July were via the northern route near Iran. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps also claimed to have targeted a data center belonging to the US company Amazon in Bahrain, according to state media. The IRGC attacked and destroyed the central data infrastructure of the American company, that's Amazon in Bahrain, with several cruise missiles. Jordan said that it had intercepted 5 drones after saying it had shot down 3 missiles. Bahrain said drones launched by Iran had targeted its air navigation system, but traffic remained unaffected. Kuwait's armed forces also said they had intercepted Iranian drones. At the same time, Tehran said diplomatic messages were still being exchanged by both sides, though through intermediaries and despite a collapse of ceasefire. Report says on Monday night the Department of Defense confirmed the identities 2 of the US soldiers, one Isabella Gonzalez, aged 19 from Texas, and Tyler James Fiham, 25 from Hawaii, who were killed in an Iranian strike on the Muwafaq Salty base in Jordan over the weekend. CENTCOM also said earlier a 3rd service member also went missing in action after the attack, and unidentified remains were found in the area. So that is what has been happening recently, just of recent. That is what has happened. And also, if you didn't know that the UK also appointed another prime minister, and that is Andy Burnham. So finally he gets to hold his first cabinet meeting as the UK prime minister. Burnham says we need to be a cost of living government as he holds first cabinet meeting. Members of his top team were seen arriving at number 10, including Councillor John Haley, Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, and Housing Secretary Angela Rayner. Earlier, Burnham announced that he was scrapping VAT on household electricity bills in October, saving a typical household about €45 a year. This will be funded by scrapping K-Stammer digital ID scheme. Number 10 says, but former Minister Darren Jones argues the idea scheme was refunded. Okay, that is currently in the UK currently. That is what is happening. And yes, of course, I really want to appreciate you guys for watching and listening to the Brain Media Uganda. Thanks so much for subscribing, and please like, share, and keep on following, guys. We really do appreciate you guys. All I can tell you guys is that we will never disappoint you guys. We shall make sure that you are updated with the international news all over the world. So keep on watching the Brain Media Uganda. Yeah, thanks so much guys.